For the very first time with the Steam year in review. This ought to be a rather short video. I don't know if this is a thing that Steam has done before. It's news to me entirely, this whole Steam replay thing. But apparently, and self-evidently, and obviously, Steam has this little thing where it lets you know what kind of games you played in that year, and I thought it would be fun to do a video where we just kind of scrolled through and saw what it had to say about me. This year, you played a variety of different games. I bet you tell that to all the Steam users. But according to Steam, I played 32 games, 2 games more than last year, wouldn't you know, 13 of which were new. I got 77 achievements in this year, most of which were probably OMORI and Celeste, if we're being real. I'll say I don't recognize any of the icons here, so I think this is just a generic background shown here. Apparently, we played a lot more games with keyboard and mouse than with controller. I guess that makes sense. I'm trying to think, what games would I have played on Steam with a controller? Certainly not any of these three, OMORI, Apollo Justice, A Stunning Trilogy, or Hitman 2. But on that note, these were our 3 big contenders, because I think we played all of Hitman 2 this year, is that right? Farmer 47 came out in July. Wait, really? When did Heart's Aim come out? June, July, August, September. Wait, so, that was like the end of July, so we only played Hitman 2 for like a month? I guess that makes sense. See, it was the double upload, like the one that occupied the both day 1 and day 3 slots for that time, so it makes sense that we were playing a hell of a lot of it. Those were some long days. Mostly because I wasn't very good at it. Not long days in the emotional sense of I hated doing it. In the literal sense of like recording for like 6 hours straight, trying to crack each of the contracts. Apollo Justice simply because we've played all of Spirit of Justice in this year. We started that in like February and only ended it in like October. And OMORI we've been steadily combing through with I think the Pacifist run was this year? Yes, that was in June. That said, we only started the EX playthrough in September of this year. And yet, we've already played so many hours, apparently in 56 sessions. 56 sessions? Really? Oh, well, I guess within one recording, I might have closed the game a few times, or the game, closes itself on certain occasions. 65 sessions makes a bit more sense for Spirit of Justice, because, well, how many episodes were there? Like 50. And 27 sessions sounds about right for Hitman 2 also. Yeah, but what games would I have been playing with a controller? I guess Guilty Gear I usually play with a controller. Can't think of much else. Now, compared to the rest of the Steam community, apparently I'm breaking some records here. I locked 77 achievements, where the median was 13. Probably just more people playing games that don't have the achievements. I played 32 games where the median is 4. Oh no, do I have a problem? I wonder what the bar represents. Is the fullness of the bar the most that anyone in the world ever did? In this year did? My longest streak was 9 days. I presume that means streak of playing a Steam game every day. Sounds about right. There were a number of days where I was recording back to back to back. And new releases versus recent releases versus classic games. So 22% of the games we played were released in 2024. That's probably a lot of them on the horror side of things. Well, no, I guess... Oh, this is the percentage of playtime I had in new releases. So that's also accounting for all the Spirit of Justice time, because the Apollo Justice trilogy came out this year. Recent favorites, percentage of playtime I had in releases from the last 1 to 7 years. That's a fair bit of gaming from then, because OMORI falls into that category. I'm not sure what else. I guess Metal Gear Solid 5 was... What was that, 2016? So actually, that would be 8 years ago. So classic games, that'll be your Hitman 2s and your Metal Gear Solid 5s, I guess. I can't believe it's counting Metal Gear Solid 5 as classic. I feel so old. I remember waiting for that game to come out with bated breath. Oh, and I'm comparing it to the percentage for all people on Steam. Apparently only 15% of people, well, 50, so the average person had 15% playtime spent. Or no, it's not the average person, it is the percentage of playtime spent by all Steam users in new releases. Interesting. So actually, surprisingly, uncharacteristically for me, I had more playtime in new releases than other people. But although I suppose that's maybe not so surprising considering the state of games in the past few years. I don't say that euphemistically or like tongue-in-cheek. I just mean there have been a lot of games that released in the past few years that have reviewed poorly, and there's been a lot of criticism of the industry for pumping out that sort of game. But moving along from that, I'm about the same in terms of games from the past 1 to 7 years, and I'm a little under in terms of playtime in classic games. Interesting. Which again, I guess makes sense considering for the channel especially, I haven't been playing loads and loads of classic games as such. You are what you play. That doesn't bode well for me, because apparently I'm a precision platformer stealth fighter with multiple endings. I mean, most people have multiple endings in a sense, that there are many ways we could end. I do love this mix though. Precision platformer, stealth, multiple endings fighting, detective, and MMORPG. So clearly this is Ace Attorney. Fighting Guilty Gear, I guess, but what else? Or maybe I just had that much to playtime in Guilty Gear. Multiple endings, I guess that might be OMORI, and maybe a few of the other, I guess Into the Gloom we played at Halloween has multiple endings. What other games we play have multiple endings? Metal Gear Solid has different ways things can turn out. It's not really multiple endings as such. Hitman 2, I didn't think had multiple endings, nor Spirited Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy. I guess the entire game includes Dual Destinies and Ace Attorney 4, both of which have sort of different endings. They're mostly basically a game over state, but Celeste certainly doesn't have multiple endings, I don't think. But the Precision platform will be Celeste, I suppose. I don't know what it means MMORPG. We had a bit of playtime on the Steam version of Guild Wars 2, but like, not much. Certainly not incomparable breadth to Detective. So I wonder if it's just misclassifying OMORI or something. By the numbers, workshop items, subscriptions, games gifted, and badges earned. Badges? I can't even remember what badges are about on Steam, really. They're just for doing all little things. Workshop items, subscriptions. This will be all our Hat in Time shenanigans. That's basically the only game I've been playing modded. And games gifted. Yeah, it'll just be like buying people games for birthdays and holidays and things. 7 seems a little lower than I would have thought, actually. Because I thought I bought like 6 presents for Christmas or so. And then there would have been 1 or 2 birthdays in there. Maybe I got them some games that were not Steam. Never mind that. Let's take a closer look at your top played games. OMORI, you were still really into this game in 2024. Oh, don't worry, I'm well aware. I picked this game back up in April, meaning what? Oh, I guess that would have been the Pacifist run that I then released in June. But then did I play it more in June, or was that, what's with all the playtime here? I don't know, but September and onward is obviously, this is all the stuff we've been doing in the EX playthrough. Look at all that playtime in November. 3-day streak. When would I have recorded it 3 days in a row? Huh. Probably that's more like I wanted to get some footage for an edit, and so I was playing it at like midnight when the day crossed over, and then the day after that I then recorded an actual episode of it. That's probably more what it means, what the actual situation is there. But look at all the achievements we got so far. 29. Only 20 to go. And then Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy. Yeah, we were going hard on the Spirit of Justice throughout Feb to Oct. Similarly, a 3-day streak. Not one of my better executed or better composed playthroughs on this channel, but we can't change what's done. We can only move on. So let's do that as swiftly as possible. And Hitman 2 Silent Assassin, of course. Yeah, so we really genuinely did. It was like the end of July through to September. We were just going full tilt into this game. I didn't realize it was that short of a time frame. But in hindsight, it did kind of really blow by, and it sort of merged, even though it's only like been a few months, I kind of merged that experience with Codename 47 in my head, even though that game was several years ago now. Several years? No, it was only 2023 when we played Hitman Codename 47. Well, when did we finish it? July of the same year. So actually it was a similar kind of situation. March, April, May, June, July. So it was a little more spread out, I guess. But ultimately, the two playthroughs were kind of similar in that we did sort of blitz them, and there was really long recordings where it was just like sinking into one mission, trying to figure it out the whole time. So it makes sense that I kind of blur them together in my head a little bit. And I'm sure it'll only get more complicated as I play more games in the Hitman series. By the time I get to the 5th game or whatever, I'm going to be like, was that mission from Hitman 1 or 3? That was good fun, though. I do miss playing a game with just the overwhelming levels of jank that Hitman 2 had. And I'm sure we'll play another game on the channel someday that will match its level of jank or exceed it, but I don't know that it will happen soon. And of course, Hat in Time, I was doing a lot of... It says sessions played 32. It sounds like a lot. I don't really know why there's like so much more playtime in May than some of the other months, but because I've been trying to make Hat in Time mod levels a bit more of a regular thing because I just enjoy that so much. That and guess the game. But yeah, I'm not really sure why the May percentage is so much higher. Did I maybe... Well, now the Snuggle Run Death Reel I released in May 29th, but that was from like 2021. Like the footage was, because I recorded it so long ago. Well, yeah, because this is the death reel from this video, which was in 2022. So was I just recording a bunch of footage for like the edit or something? To like pick up sound effects and things? I have no idea why this is like this. And we actually got an achievement this year for getting a bunch of Rift mod tokens. The only achievement I have left in that game actually is to gather timepieces in like multiplayer, which is not hard to do exactly, but because Hat in Time means so much to me, I was kind of like, maybe someday I'll get that last achievement on video and it'll be like a nice conclusive moment where I've rounded out the Steam achievement list. But knowing me, I'm going to wait too long and the servers are going to go down and I'll never have the achievement and I'll be sad forever. But I don't know, I've been just feeling like waiting on that one. But it's cool that we got this one in the interim. Next up is obviously going to be Celeste here. I know that little cowlick anywhere. So obviously in August is when we started picking up the Celeste EX playthrough, and we've nailed a load of achievements. At the time of recording this video, which is December 29th, I have every achievement but for the last one we're going to get on the channel. I only have one more video to record of this game, as a matter of fact, I think, because I've recorded ahead a little bit. Interesting, though, that we had so much more playtime in August and September than October, November, and December. Maybe that just means I've been recording more shenanigan videos that have thrown off our schedule in this time. When did we play the farewell chapter? Can I spell the word nothing? That was in November. Oh, I don't know that I played it in November. That might have been... What was the recording date on this video? November. It was November. I'm not sure why that is, because I would have thought farewell would be where you'd see a huge spike in playtime, because that took me like 5 hours. Fine game, Celeste. Fine game. Interesting. Your playtime by month here. Now it'll break it down by games. We were doing a lot of gaming in November. Would you look at it? Apparently, less than 1% of this year's playtime at all was in January. I don't know why that is. Oh, were we playing more console games at that time or something? Because if I wasn't playing any games on Steam for the channel, then I probably wasn't playing them at all. How were we up to in January? Oh yeah, sure enough. Tears of the Kingdom, Fire Emblem, and Kingdom Hearts, which we were playing on Epic Games, so of course there's no Steam playtime there. Break their knees. Interesting. But then around February is when we started Spirit of Justice, of course, as one of our playthroughs. There's a bit of Hat in Time, as always, in here. Why not? But mostly it's Spirit of Justice. Then there's obviously these little pinpricks of OMORI coming in here and there. 50% to Hat in Time. Oh, wowza. Oh, yes, of course, and the Stanley Parable. I'm surprised that hasn't showed up anywhere else in here, but we did that this year also. Wow, we were busy in July to September. We had Stanley Parable, Hat in Time, Hitman, and Spirit of Justice going on. And 24% in a bunch of other games. Let's see what we got here. Psychonauts, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim. What the hell was I playing Saints Row 4 for? Oh, for the Pet Peeves video. Ditto for Grand Theft Auto 5, presumably. Some Tales of Zestiria for the same purpose. Celeste, Guilty Gear Xrd. All the things. Matter of fact, Psychonauts was also intended for the Pet Peeves video, but it was for the obnoxious fail states one. There was a scene I remember dying on a lot in Psychonauts that had an obnoxious fail state, like where there was a character who like repeated the same line of dialogue in a really annoying way or something. And I got back to that point, and it wasn't nearly as annoying as I remembered, so I was like, why did I hate this? This is fine. And it wasn't hard, what they asked you to do, either. I had to try to fail at it, so I was like, why did I remember hating this? So I just didn't include it in the video. I also had a hell of a time getting Psychonauts to run. It kept bugging out for some reason on ye old machine here. I had to do it on my laptop. Yes, in August was when I recorded the replay of Undertale, basically, the revisiting, which naturally, being a big 9-hour recording, took up a chunk of the old runtime in this month. But again, Celeste, Hat in Time, Hitman, Apollo Justice, Yume Nikki, and OMORI. What did I record Yume Nikki for, or open it for in August? I was probably comparing something we did in OMORI to Yume Nikki because I wanted to do that. Looking kind of similar in September. Oh wait, is it changing the colors every time? No, purple is Hitman across the board. So what is green? Right, so there's more Spirit of Justice going on here and way more OMORI, because this is when we began the actual proper EX playing. Oh, so does that mean that like the first episode of EX OMORI I started in August? Because it was published in September. When did I record it? No, also in September, so I'm not sure. A little bit less on the Steam playing in October. I guess in part because we were doing a bunch of horror stuff as well. Kind of threw the schedule all about, but you can see all the different games we had going on here. Alien Isolation, Into the Gloom. Oh, and there's more Amber Throne going on in here. When did we start Amber Throne? Oh, in November. So I might have just turned it on once or twice to make sure it was still working or whatever in October. And I don't know what we were doing for Undertale in October. Well, actually, I have a guess, but it's sort of a secret. But even if it is this secret thing that I think it might have been, I don't understand why it would be. Riddle that sentence out. And The Devil Haunts Me Henry Stickmin collection, and one more it says. Can I find out what that was? We'll never know. I don't know what I did to make this white bar appear. Oh, it just shows you which thing you're highlighting. Of course, we had a lot more Amber Throne in November and December, because we were just finishing it up. Bit more Celeste, loads more OMORI. Hey, some Metal Gear Solid 5 in here. I bet I loaded up The Devil Haunts Me in November to screen cap the logo so that I could put it in the little spoiler disclaimer thing I put at the beginning of some of the compilations. Metal Gear Solid 5, obviously, we were doing some more of the magazine challenges, and then December here, we're gonna have all kinds of crazy stuff, but mostly Amber Throne, Celeste, Hat in Time, OMORI, and some more Metal Gear Solid 5, and Guilty Gear Xrd, of course. I wasn't expecting this graph to be the most complex one to riddle out, but man, look, that's a weird-looking graph. 13% of your playtime was with a controller. Oh, duh, I'm playing Celeste and Hat in Time with a controller. Fair. Because I was like, it's only Guilty Gear, what the hell? Spent most time playing these with a controller. Right, Celeste and Hat in Time makes a lot of sense. There's no way I'm playing a 3D platformer with a keyboard. It just isn't happening. 2D platformer, maybe. But I'm so used to the controller now. And apparently I played like a little bit of Dark Souls at some point. That would have also been for the Pet Peeves video, I suppose. When I did the little, I punched down the first boss with just fist fighting. Tales of Syria, again, probably I only played any of it for the Pet Peeves video, I think. That would explain the 1%. Longest daily streak was... Oh, it was recent, November 19th through to November 28th, wherein we were playing a lot of Metal Gear, Amber Throne, Devil Haunts Me, and OMORI. Well, probably not a lot of the Devil Haunts Me. And in fact, I'm not even certain... When was the last magazines? Yeah, it was in November, so I was recording there, but I was also playing a little bit on my own at that time. Just whenever I had a few free minutes. Even though I have 100% of the game, it's just a fun game to run around in, so I was just running around suplexing people in the open world and messing around, basically. Anytime I had a few minutes where I wasn't doing anything else. So there's a timeline view and a grid view for this. Well, let's start with the grid view and then we'll have a look at the timeline. So you can see all the ones I first played in 2024 here of Spirit of Justice, Hitman 2, Stanley Parable, the Test Trilogy. I don't know why it spreads them out like this. The Test! Oh, probably by the amount of time we spent playing them. Because we did spend the most time playing the final one. That was what we were doing one of the things I was doing when recovering from my wisdom teeth. And of course there's Into the Gloom there and all these horror things for Yield Halloween Marathon, also known as Chill or Be Chilled. Inaki Tunnel, creepy game. You know what's weird? It says my first time playing Psychonauts was in this year, which is definitely not true because I'm almost 1,000,000% positive that I played it on Steam when I first played it through, which was in like 2017 or something like that. Good game that, by the way. I think it might have been that I was playing it with a friend's shared library, and I didn't actually own it myself, and maybe that's why it's showing up like this. I'm not rightly sure. And of course we've got these little Injustice and Mortal Kombat things, because that would have been from the Trophy Tour video. Whenever I got to those games, I was referring to the PlayStation versions, which I had played, but it was just easier to capture footage from the Steam versions, which I also owned, so I just booted them up to get footage to illustrate what I was talking about. Now, why did I open the original trilogy here, I wonder? Now and then I just will pop back into an old case and mess about in it, or I'll like swap the language. You know, I did that thing with Fire Emblem now and then where I swapped the language to French, just to see how my comprehension has held up since high school. Sometimes I'll do the same thing with Ace Attorney. It's because it's a very wordy game. So that might have been what that was about. The Henry Stickmin collection, when... But we didn't do the marathon this year. That was 2 years ago. So for what did I open it? Maybe it was an accident, like I hit the wrong game or something. Actually, for what did I open Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes? Because I haven't played that game since high school, I'm pretty sure. A friend of mine and I were trying to we were like blitzing it and trying to absolutely clear the entire thing. And we got pretty close. We got to like the 8th of 10 sections. Give Admiral a moment to remember when the letter K happens in the alphabet. Okay. Yeah. The last time I played this was in high school, and my friend and I were trying to 100% it. So I don't know why it showed up there. Yield extreme section. We never did end up beating it. I'm impressed though that we only defused 35 bombs, but we still made it this far in the game. That means we had a pretty decent rate of success, doesn't it? Or I guess that we never replayed any old levels maybe is more what it means. Someday, said friend and I, if you happen to be watching this video, you know who you are. We gotta go back and finish that. We have to finish what we started. Timeline view though, interestingly. Oh, apparently I opened Keep Talking Nobody Explodes in January. I don't know why. Oh, right, and there was that, we did like a little jump into Lethal Company. Really, you ought to play that game multiplayer, but I just enjoyed walking around in that world, even though I wasn't really playing the game right. It was just fun. Yeah, but you're seeing a lot of the usual suspects around here. OMORI, Celeste, Hat in Time, Ace Attorney, Hitman, all throughout. Oh, I see, it ends at December 14th. Yeah, that's great. I was wondering why some of like the Christmas horror games and whatever didn't show up. Here you go. Steam Replay does not include any playtime played in offline mode and disconnected from the internet. That probably goes the same for playtime in general, hence probably why Psychonauts was showing up, as this is the first year I've played it, when I have in fact beaten the whole thing. Oh, it actually does have my replay pages from the past 2 years. Interesting. Well, I won't go through those. Thank you for being a part of the Steam community in 2024. Well, thank you, Steam, for taking my money, all of it. And thank you, my darling dear friends, for joining me on this little trip, the wee little trip through memory lane. It's always good to look back and reflect on the ways we wasted our life. Sorry, I meant spent our time enjoying life and doing fulfilling pastimes. That's what I obviously meant. In seriousness though, while I wouldn't say this has been the best year of my life in terms of personal growth and general progression of life and being a good person, we did have some rather good times this year, as evidence. I mean, with all the numbers on screen, how could we not have had good times? So it is my intent for this to be the final video that goes up in the year on December 31st in the evening sometime. By my time zone anyhow. And so the next video going on the channel, the first video of 2025, will be part 1 of I Am Bread, I'm pretty sure. Starting the year off strong with an acclaimed rage game. What could go wrong? Well, that's all from me, so do feel free to let us all know down you know where if there was anything in here that surprised you over much, or if there was anything in your own Steam replay, if you have one, that caught you off guard, or just anything you want to share about it. We're all ears. Thank you so very much for coming around. Hopefully I'll see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. Happy New Year, I guess. Peace! Hey, breathe the free air again, my friend. He's got a weird little wiggly thing on his head. Might be the thing that the pink pigment are supposed to pluck. Pigment 3. I thought you just had to, like, point it and then you could let go. But it's not like that. It wasn't like that. And that's the truth. Take a sip and see it's burning. Other than that, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, right? You're pretty good.